Okay. No, I don't want to do that.
How we doing?
We're tired. Taking those cows out of school today.
How's the left shoulder?
She's sore. She's in a lot of pain. We're gonna find out Monday if she has meniscus.
Oh, I was gonna say that.
Did it break it right in her shoulder?
Where did it break? Oh, right.
She did this one a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
That
Did it, this one worse?
I don't think. I think she didn't have to have surgery for that.
Nose may have healed, yeah.
That's me. Well, she has no. Well, that's.
We're going to go ahead and call the Parowan City Council meeting to order for October 14th, 2021. At this time, we're going to turn the time over to Vicki Hicks for the pledge and the prayer.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll bow your head with me. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for our community, and we thank you for all the many blessings that you have bestowed upon us over these years, and all that I'm sure you have planned for us for the future. We love our community, we love our leadership, and we appreciate everything that you have helped them with and every way that you've guided them. We ask that tonight you come forward and that you guide them once again as they make decisions on behalf of our community to do the right thing, to make the great decisions that we need as we grow and as our community gets bigger and even more bold. We ask these names in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Would you stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Vicki.
Thanks, Vicki.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have any declarations of conflict or personal interest with any of the agenda items from any of the council meetings, our members tonight?
No.
Okay. All right. At this time, we'll go ahead and open the council meeting up to public comments if anybody has anything to discuss.
Mayor? Get into your public hearing first.
This is just regular public comment for the meeting, not for the budget amendments.
Okay.
Okay.
So we were made aware of the Community That Cares Coalition that was presented here in March. It was March 25th of 2021, and the council was very supportive of it. A presenter came named Logan Reed, and so we've kind of been trying to figure out how to follow up on that. You want to add to that?
Yes, as we looked at this program, we met this last Wednesday with the group, and we looked at what they've done and the data that they brought forward to us. And we'd like to ask the council to just bring this back and maybe revisit and look at having an opportunity for Logan to come back and present the data to you. We realized that through the minutes that Molly was able to pull up, that you did ask for more data. So we're asking you now that they have this data to please bring this back to the table and revisit it, because it really looks like a great opportunity and a great program for the youth of our community.
So just to refresh, it's for underage drinking, drug use and vape, and just kind of that behavior that puts our youth at risk. And they've seen a 30% improvement in those categories in the 7 states that they've run a 10-year longitudinal study in, and Utah was one of them. And according to our police chief, we now have identified about 120 at-risk youth, so 30% of those would be 40 kids. And I think our community getting behind supporting and creating this coalition. We had a good group of people come out. They all seemed very committed. We set a follow-up meeting up. The coalition is going to be organized and be moving, but obviously it'd be a more positive experience if we could get as many community partners involved as possible, and so that presentation probably needs to be followed up with. And it looks like you requested, and we think maybe that just didn't get scheduled.
Okay.
And there are other various communities around us, including Beaver. I think Enoch was on the list. There's several that this program is already active in and is being extremely successful in. So that lends us to think that maybe it's a great program for us.
And our school counselor was there, Mike Edwards was there, community member was there, Mark Alpers, and several other community people that are definitely very interested in moving this forward in our community, so that it has support.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Well, let me ask you a quick question. How in-depth does it go for all mental health, for the whole gamut?
Mental health was also a component of it. It was mental health, suicide, and depression.
Okay.
And so we're all kind of speaking the same language, talking in the same manner, and working on the same goals.
Yeah, and they have a fabulous program at the hospital in St. George.
And Southwest Health is a component, so the health department's a component, as well as the state, and as well as other entities that are involved in those programs that are accessible in other municipalities. So we feel really encouraged by their results and what's been going on in communities that are very comparable to ours. We feel like it's very worthwhile, and we really need to look deeper into it and not let it go to the wayside without moving it forward.
Thank you, too. We thank you for
Okay.
that.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, any other comments? Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to, I have a motion to, open up the meeting for comments regarding the fiscal year 2021-22 budget amendments.
I so move.
I'll second it.
Okay. Do we need to do a roll call on this one?
I do believe you did.
Okay. Dave?
Yes.
Jim?
Yay.
Matt?
Yes.
Patty?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, so we'll go ahead, anybody that has any public comment regarding the fiscal year 2021-22 budget amendments? Okay, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing for comments regarding the fiscal year 2021-22 budget amendments. Do I have a motion?
I move that we close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
All right. Okay, Dave?
Yay, whatever.
All right. Jim?
Yay.
Matt?
Yay.
Patty?
Yay.
Jim?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. All right, we're back into our regular meeting. Do I have a motion to approve consent items 1 through 4?
I make a motion that we approve the consent meeting, item 1 through 4.
I second that.
Just,
Do we have any discussion?
yes, please. Just give me a quick overview of the approval of the plat amendment for Juniper Green.
That, have you got that map? On that map, on the far
Got that?
left is actually 600 West where it meets Old Highway 91. They're combining, lots 1, 2, and 3, they are taking lot 2 and splitting it, and so they're making 2 lots out of 3.
Okay.
And that was in order to get setback requirements for the home they would wanted to build. It's a brother and sister owner. He owns
So
lot,
there'll be 3 plots?
nope,
No, 2.
Two.
after
2 out of
combining
3.
all of it.
yeah, they're reducing it by 1.
Okay.
It's a lot line adjustment,
Nope.
basically.
Yeah, it is, but it's a
Okay.
platted
you.
subdivision, which this is the requirement.
Okay.
Okay.
Question just also on that, water loading station. It's a little bit more on that one. That's the same one we just voted last time.
Yes,
Did
that
they
is,
just leave something off or something?
no,
else
that's the
like-
actual cost of the station. The other was the improvement of the driveway, the roads, the,
Thought it was for 80-something
it
thousand.
was, that was an estimate.
Site work.
Okay, it was just estimate. I just noticed it was about $2,900 difference on the first estimate they gave us and the one they got now.
Oh, because we had to add a pressure reducing valve in that station because of our high pressure.
Okay. That's the only thing difference I could see it for the first of it, so.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, yeah. When he asked it, the static pressure at that location, he's like, you're gonna need to reduce that pressure. So, they added that to that station.
Okay, I just wanna make sure, so.
To sustain it at 60 pounds, I think is what they're gonna set it at.
All right. Thanks, Cleve.
Mayor,
Yes.
I'm sorry, who made the motion and who seconded?
I seconded it.
Who
And
made
it
the
was
motion?
Jim Harris.
Made it.
Yeah.
Dave seconded it.
Oh, was that, that one?
Oh, that one, yeah, it was Jim Harris and then Dave.
Jim and then Dave, thank you, sorry about that.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, move on to the action meeting, agenda item number 9. This is the AmeriCorps Senior Companion and Foster Grandparents Program update request for donations, and we'll turn the time over to Joanne Lyman.
Thank you.
Hi, Joanne.
Nice to see you again.
I appreciate you having me back. Our year has been kind of interesting, so I just wanted to give you a little update, and just for people that don't know what we are, we're AmeriCorps seniors, and I have the Foster Grandparent Senior Companion Program. So my foster grandparents go to the schools and help the kids with their reading, and senior companions go to the homes of other seniors and take them shopping, to doctor's appointments, visit them, provide respite for loved ones. And all my seniors are a little lower income. They have to make less than $2,200 a month, and we actually pay them a small stipend of $3 an hour. And they do great work. We appreciate it. We cover, I'm from, 5 counties sponsors our program, but AmeriCorps Seniors is a federal program. So over the last 18 months, we've struggled a little bit, but our senior companions actually weren't down too long. March of 2020, they made them stop working, and then in May, they let them go shopping for their clients and help them out a little bit. They couldn't do in-home meetings, but since September of 2020, they've been back doing normal stuff, taking them to doctor's appointments and things like that. Foster grandparents here in Iron County, they've been able to serve all of last year and then this year too. Washington County wouldn't let them serve, the school district, so we have had a real struggle there. I think it's kind of interesting because in Iron County, I did not lose any volunteers, but in Washington County, because they couldn't serve, I've lost a lot of volunteers. So I'm working hard to get our numbers back up. So let's see. Do you have any questions? I don't know, that was pretty fast. I didn't go into too much depth.
We appreciate the work you do.
Thank
And know that you do really good work and help our community a lot, so we appreciate what you guys do.
You guys have 2 great senior companions in your community, and they do a lot of work. I was just looking up Norma, I don't know if you know Norma Baker, but she's had COVID and got pretty sick, and so she's been slowing down a little bit, but she still has 3 clients that she's served. And then Barbara Witten, she has 7 clients that she serves. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but that's 10 seniors that are getting transportation and visits and help with their housework, and just they take them to Cedar to doctor's appointments. It's a lot for these seniors. It's a big need for them. It's a great program, yeah. So, and then you guys usually donate $500, so if you're interested, we'd love to have a little donation. And the reason I ask for a donation, just as a reminder, is my program is a grant-based program, so it's federally funded. However, I have to raise about $10,000 a year to have match money for that program. So I just ask a little donation from the cities that my volunteers are in, and that gives me a start. I have some other things we do. We have senior conferences where we have vendor booths, and they pay for that, and all of that money goes to my programs. So that's how I raise the rest of it, so, yeah.
Is that in our budget?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
I would like to ask if we could up it a little bit, since you've had so much.
I would
Lost
not
in
be
the last-
opposed to that.
How much are you thinking?
I was thinking $750.
I think that's doable.
That doable.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I make a motion that we contribute $750 to the senior campaign.
I second the motion.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your time.
Again, we appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
Keep doing the good work.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll move on to agenda item number 6. This is the annexation petition, Scott Fotheringham, Evil Water Land LLC.
Good evening, Mayor.
How are ya?
I'm doing well.
It's good to see ya.
It's good to see you. Good evening, City Council. My name is Jeffrey Chestnut. I am the attorney for Evil Water, and these are two of the members of the Evil Water, Mr. Fotheringham and Mr. Jones. And we are here to submit the petition for annexation of the property that is owned by the LLC. And part of that petition, just so we can help the council know that Evil Water wants to be really good neighbors. They've coordinated with all of the adjacent property owners, and they have all signed the petition for annexation as well. So a lot of legwork has gone into this. The reason why I'm here, I'm the lawyer, but I'm the mayor in Enoch, so I'm usually in this meeting on that side of the table, and these guys feel more comfortable with somebody who's in a meeting like this with people and being comfortable, right? So that's why I'm here, to kind of help everybody stay on task. These guys, they're really good at what they do, and like I said, the legwork they've done to this point with the county, because it also creates some issues. We've been to the county, and the county recently approved the annexation because of the new statute. I don't know if Cleve's had an opportunity to kind of bring everybody up to speed on that, but...
Using your template.
Well,
Thank
in Enoch City, we put together we broke the statute down, and we kind of figured out a flow chart, because nobody seemed to know how that policy that came down from the legislature was supposed to work. And so, my city manager and myself, we kind of broke it apart, and we've been able to figure out the process. And like I said, one of those things was to get to the county, and we did that this week, and the commissioners approved the annexation, because it does leave a little bit of a peninsula where it goes. But ultimately, that property is going to sometime in the future, be annexed into Parowan as well, I would imagine, so.
Okay.
But, any questions? We're happy to, like I said, they're excited. They want to make sure that any questions the council has are answered, so.
Well, I know they've been working on this for a long time, so.
Yeah,
They have.
like those two.
You can submit that to Callie.
Yeah.
But
We're not voting.
they've checked all the boxes so far. It's just, this is the formality. Justin called me before he left the country and reminded me to tell you, this is not accepting an annexation. You're simply accepting a petition, and you're moving it forward in the process. So this formality just takes a vote, and we will move forward in this process.
Won't have to go to the planning and zoning?
It will get there, yes. I think the next step, it goes to our attorney to make sure it's...
Yeah, so, and I've already began coordinating with Mr. Wayman on this as well. and we've already started talking about the different parts of a potential annexation agreement that the city may have concerns about, so.
Yeah, so it
We're
has
already
to,
working.
yeah, it's got another box to check in this flow chart. There's a 30-day window for him to certify it, I believe is the term they use.
I think so.
Yes.
Okay.
I make a motion that we accept the annexation petition and allow them to move forward.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
It's good to see you all.
Thank you.
See you.
All right, we'll take agenda item number 7, Winter Wonderland, and we're gonna turn this over to the Chamber of Commerce.
Hello, you guys. So we, when we came to visit you guys about a month ago, there was mention of the possibility of a financial contribution, so we wanted to make sure you guys had the information for our sponsorship that we've, been giving to people who are interested in sponsoring. So you guys have that, you can review it, let us know. We also wanted to discuss, the Old Rock Church lighting, and we have actually, one of our chamber members contacted a light installation company who said that they would, give us a reduced rate. So if the city would prefer, we would be willing to pay for that installation company to put those lights up on the Old Rock Church. I know that's something probably Cleve has to be
It's
in
not
the
permanent.
conversation for. It's not permanent.
It's just, okay, just.
We could talk with, whoever we would need to talk with about if they would like lights that are just white that we could leave up, that they could have on. We could do, it would basically be whatever the preference is, so that we have that there for Christmas.
And then we were also looking at lights that would like change colors, so like for the 4th of July, you could do the Old Rock Church red, white, and blue, and you would just leave them up all year if that's something that you guys wanted to do as well, and we would buy the lights for you.
What do you think?
I'd just get with Cleve,
Okay.
'cause we might want city staff to do the installation,
Yeah,
so
that's what we didn't know.
I'd run that.
Well, that, and you need to talk to the DUP because they're the leasers.
Yeah.
They lease the building, so
Right.
we need
Would
to
you
get,
prefer if we, contacted them, or is that something you guys would like to do?
well, I think you guys could, what do you think?
You could, we could say that, yeah, it's, either way, because we're working through that, grant program with, Mr. Lambertson and that committee
Yeah.
for the total restoration. Getting ready to put out an RFQ. We're working with, Alina Franco, the state
Historical.
to make sure that goes out. And we're using that template that, her former employee provided us on the improvements. So,
I think where we're at is, maybe it's not the right time for a permanent attachment because of the ongoing trying to get
if
the.
we could keep it a little smaller, maybe just the windows or whatnot, but the
Yeah.
total, around the eaves, that's something that we can work in for the planning to make sure that it does stay lit.
During the
Once the renovation's done, but, maybe not go too overboard yet, 'cause we're not sure on the
Well,
size
and
of
if
that.
they're temporary lights, they're always something we can
Take that.
use as we grow and expand.
Right.
We
Somewhere
figure
else.
we'll be buying lights forever now. We bought them last year till Home Depot sold out, so we're gonna probably keep going. And so we'll meet with them, we'll make an appointment to meet with their committee, and then, Cleve, do you want it to be up to them whether we have the city install the lights, or if we hire a lighting company to install the lights?
I guess it depends on if we're gonna go way up high. I mean, if it's just simply around windows and whatnot.
I think ideally we would like the outline, the roof outline, but it would still be a temporary, the lighting company gave us a quote on temporary lights that have no permanent or no damage to the building.
What was did they give you an installation quote?
Yeah, and so we would cover that.
It's $300, and we,
And that makes sense, because then if they don't work, they're the ones that
Have to
you
take
can
them.
say, hey,
Mhm.
but, yeah, that's a good idea. I think that that's simply coordinate with them and make sure that the DEP understands that,
Okay,
or is aware of what's
Karen
going on.
Miller would be the one, she's the,
I think see that lit up would be awesome.
is the DUP, person that you need to contact.
Karen Miller?
Mhm.
Okay,
Mm.
yeah. And, yeah, I don't know if you guys saw last year, we took a picture the very first night we tested it with the tunnel and the tree and at sunset, and you could see the entire outline of the rock church, and that's kind of where we started with, wouldn't it be great if
Light it up.
the outline was lit as well?
Mm.
And so, okay, do you guys have any other questions for us?
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then
You guys,
confirm, we're gonna start setting that up the second Saturday in November, I believe, so that we have 3 full weekends to get. The sixth, we'll start setting that up.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
thank
All
you.
right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Do we have to have a motion on this?
No.
I don't think so, 'cause it's in the action meeting, so.
Can I, we contacted our insurance company on co-sponsoring. Anybody talked to you about the requirements they ask us?
No.
Okay. Simply put, our liability insurance does not cover, and I'm gonna try to quote what they said, bounce houses and mechanical amusement rides.
Okay,
So,
nothing mechanical.
the little train thing could be done, but it would have to be under an insurance, and they suggested, or said, you need to get an event
Okay,
insurance, name us, just like,
we do them all the time at the farm. They're
exactly.
very inexpensive and
Right.
simple to do.
And then it just puts our name on it, and then
And then we
everybody's
send it to
covered.
you, you'll have a copy,
Yep,
and we'll have a copy.
Just like the,
Private event insurance, basically. Okay.
yeah, the summer games does them all the time, the bike races,
Mhm.
so.
Here, and then someone did just pull up this picture, so I'll just show it to you guys.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
yeah, it's nice.
That is nice.
It was really neat, too.
Oh, wow. That's gorgeous.
that would look very
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
Whoa.
That's very nice.
Mhm.
It's a neat
It's there
event.
every year.
I think they can.
Okay, Dela, thank you.
Thank the whole group.
I don't know, that's what I asked.
I don't know, is there,
Well, it's in the action meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Does somebody wanna make a motion?
I make a motion that we support the Chamber of Commerce in their Winter Wonderland activity and do all we can just to help them.
I'll second that.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll move on to agenda item number 8, fiscal year 2021-22 budget amendments.
Here we are.
does council have any questions on the individual amendments? Sure.
What's it there?
So I just wanted to make sure that you understand the codes on the line codes. The first two, or the top code is the revenue line. The bottom, code is the, like, on the first one where it says airport runway design, those top two are revenue lines. The second line is the expense line. So just so you're aware that that's what
Those
those
are the effective
numbers are
lines.
for those budget lines.
Only question I've kinda have on that is that, repair for the electric truck on that. Are we pulling money back down for UAMs, is that what?
Yes,
Okay, that's kinda our money, but yet.
yes, and they're they're holding that, we did not
Yeah,
call
that's
that
what-
check down.
it's already there, earmarked,
We
we could just use it.
We just needed to know how much that repair was gonna be on that,
What, just out of curiosity, what was the repair on the?
I had Jeremy,
I was gonna call him
I-
and find out beforehand, but I didn't have a chance, so.
it was cylinder wear caused by a O-ring failure, and it caused it to overheat, and then it warped something in there.
Okay.
And so this is being repaired, or would be repaired at Keller Country Diesel. This is where we got the estimate. It's a little more extensive than our shop facility can handle.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that's, or I knew that's kind of figured, but so,
Okay, yeah, so that's where that money would come down from.
okay.
Any other questions?
On this, Valentine's Peak Trailhead, the Iron County gave us $6,000.
That was a rollover that was omitted from this year's budget.
And how much, didn't we already have some money in there for that? Or have
It just went unused. We haven't used, this is what we can submit
Okay,
invoices for, but it expires December 31st.
okay.
Molly's I've been working with Molly. We're gonna buy gravel and work on that trailhead moves.
Okay, perfect.
Molly's the tarp. Are you the chairman, Molly?
Carter are, but they've just both been too busy.
Okay. And so the work is started, you seen the road base has been put in, we'll start moving gravel in there, and then we can invoice for that. It simply was omitted. I did not know that it didn't roll over, and when this came back up and they had graciously extended it, we wanted to get this back in the budget so
Okay,
we could
good.
expand it.
That's good.
And the BLM's still on board with that. Okay.
That's good.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the fiscal year 2021-22 budget amendments.
I second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll move into the work meeting. Agenda item number 9, utility ordinance 2021-10-01.
Once again, I wish Justin was here. I posed the question as we started to set the poles for our auto read water meters. There's nothing that specifically says we can't, but there's nothing that specifically says we can in right-of-ways and on
In there, wasn't
property.
there?
What's that?
There was nothing in there, or is it?
No.
That's
So this just basically, he's like, we need to make an amendment that calls it out specifically for those properties, right-of-ways, and city-owned properties is where these poles are being placed. So this is simply something I'd like you to review and take action on next council meeting. And it's just this was put together before he left. I just wanted to make sure you guys got a chance to see it.
No, we got it, and it looks good, Cleve. I reviewed it, and it looks, we need it.
Right.
Yeah, we have to have that in our ordinance, so.
So, it's probably plagiarized from another one, but I'm glad that we have that.
It's okay. And then we can vote on it next meeting?
That would be, yeah,
Okay.
would be my suggestion.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, so we'll table that one and move that to the action meeting, next council meeting. We'll move on to agenda item number 10. This is the county's proposal regarding the fairgrounds. My suggestion on this is, I think we need to set up a public hearing, in regards to this matter, and get the public's input on this.
I agree.
I don't know how the council feels about that.
No, exactly. Now that we have a letter from them stating what they want to do, I think we need to have a public meeting with us present and them present, and present it to the public,
Exactly.
and present the positives, and if there are some negatives,
Mm-hmm.
we need to do that. We
I
need
think
to
you
set
should,
up a
I think you
public
should hear from the citizens.
I agree.
And
Take their input.
would you like to set up a public hearing for next meeting? We could get it advertised even early, say 5 o'clock, to devote an entire meeting to that
Yeah.
prior to your regular session.
Yeah,
Happy
let's
to-
do that.
Sounds good.
So that meeting would go to 5 till 6 then.
Right,
Okay,
yes. 'Cause we certainly want input on this.
So that from 5 o'clock,
5 o'clock to 6.
5 o'clock, yeah, and that will be like open to everybody for
Right,
comment?
right, yeah, that's a public hearing, that's where
Okay.
we get up and, anybody can get up and discuss the pros and cons. That gives me a chance to meet with the staff, I wanna present all their concerns.
Mayor, maybe a good idea just to kind of let the public know what is
What
their
it is.
proposal.
What,
Yeah.
yeah,
Just let them know.
and we could probably just post the letter.
It's pretty important that we get it out.
Okay, so.
But-
I would suggest posting it separate, but. Okay, all right, thank you, Callie.
Okay.
All right, we'll move on to agenda item number 11, and this is the general plan review.
The general plan, had a public hearing in the planning commission. Mr. Clayton's wife brought up some very good points, and they were, considered by the planning commission, some amendments were made. And so this is still a working copy.
Is this copy that we have, is with everything changed that they have?
All the changes have been made in that were suggested by the planning commission at their last meeting. So this is once again a review document, and it can, if you feel like you've seen it, then we need to probably have this on for approval on an action meeting. If you would like to bring this back on the 28th, we could certainly make that an agenda item. If you
Does
feel,
this need to go back to the planning?
Well, I think the planning commissioner committee was going to review it at their next meeting,
right,
and then they'll send it back.
and if they come back with a positive recommendation on the 20th, if all the changes have been, if,
That gives us a week, right?
Right.
To review it? So
yeah,
that's-
so I don't anticipate any changes, but this has been the, I talked with Susan today, she's still here?
Yeah,
She
she's
is.
right there.
Right there.
Susan, do you anticipate any changes to this? I think all of them have been addressed, have they not?
I spoke to Ryan yesterday, he had made all the changes, the only thing that he did indicate was that the pictures are not current.
Correct.
They were waiting for some good weather, his brother, I guess, lives here, and, they were hoping that by the weekend, the snow would dissipate, and he'd be able to take some nice photos, and then that's the last thing that he was going to do, the recommendations by the public, I submitted to him, he made those changes, and that's what you see here.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Susan.
Chief, he's gonna use a drone. Do we have an ordinance that has any problem? Okay, so, yeah. His brother has a drone that takes the pictures, so that's what he's...
Oh.
All right, okay. So we'll just plan on putting that on the next council meeting?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll move on to agenda item number 12, reports. Dave, do you have any reports for the council?
Yeah, it was brought up to me and my attention, Molly, if I don't do this right, help me out. Says that, the TARP committee has, applied and received a grant, haven't they? So you're working for the regional grant, and it can, okay, and it can be used it can be used for anything, it's not specifically targeted. Just, well, for the trail system, but I mean, not any specific, okay. Okay,
Is there a matching portion of that the city has to match? Not in kind or anything? Pardon? County, okay.
Okay. And then, is there anything else you want to add? I mean, I didn't do a very specific job there. Okay. Okay, thank you. The Shade Tree Committee met last week, and they did some work on Meeks Pond again, Meeks Park, and did some pruning and cutting down of some trees and things. So they're trying to stay active and, you know, get organized and get going again on some projects, and so they're doing a pretty good job. And then I think everything else, the planning and zoning, you know, the general plan came before us, and that, what'd you call it, subdivision lot? What'd you call that?
Oh, is it that plat amendment?
Yeah, plat amendment, so I think that's about anything that's current there.
Okay.
Thank
Is that it?
I think so.
Okay. Jim, do you have anything?
No, none of my committees met this between meetings, so.
All right, thanks, Jim. Matt, do you have anything?
I don't, but I'd just like to say, last week with, Utah, Leagues and Cities and Towns Conference, and it's the first time I've gone to, we couldn't go last year because of COVID and stuff, but, I'm still, it was a good conference, good meetings we went to. There's a few things that, I was kinda a little disappointed on some of the water stuff issues. They were talking more about stuff in bigger cities and stuff like that, but I'm still, kinda going through a lot of my notes and stuff like that on there. But it was a good conference to go to. I would highly recommend if anybody ever gets a chance to go to them to do it. It was good, so.
All right, thanks, Matt. Patty, do you have anything?
Yeah. Well, we had a theater board meeting scheduled for this week, but it was postponed for next week. There's no meeting held for the library committee. But I did meet with Dave, and we met with Ally Isom last week, and she is a Republican candidate for Mike Lee's seat. She had interest in our community and our suggestions for things that we would like to see addressed in the years ahead. Very impressed with the young lady. She came with her husband. They spent about, we were there an hour maybe, an hour and a half. How long, Dave? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was.
So, good information.
Yeah, it was about
It's nice
2
to
hours.
stay in touch so that you know what's going on up north.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, Jim, do you have anything?
The only thing I have is, Cleve sent me to the Iron County Rural Planning Organization, RTAC, the Transportation Advisory Committee. They have a list of priorities, and, our bridge is still on there.
Okay, good.
How far down?
Second from the bottom.
No, it's actually not, let's see, Main Street Bridge, well, we're ranked 2 out of 11 under the safety, but there's some other things going on. That's pretty high up on the wish list.
Okay.
And then the other one is the, the Paragon Highway realignment. 271, SR 271.
Yeah.
That's way down there.
Okay.
They are at least, we're on the radar,
Okay.
but, other than that, that's all I have.
All right, Jim, thank you. Cleve, do you have anything?
I got a couple of things. I couldn't attend with Councilman Shirtliff. I was able to meet with Nathan Martinez and with 5 counties, and he set up a meeting with Jamie Hackbarth. She's the Deputy Economic Development Representative for the U.S. Department of Commerce out of Denver. She was in meetings in SUU, so we met with them on the financing that Mr. Martinez had talked about, and the processes and all the available things, and making the contacts and who, how, and when you go through these processes. So none of the application dates are set in stone. Yes, quickly as possible is what they would like, but there are some definite hoops that have to be jumped through to do this federal funding. But the different opportunities there, there's some cost involved. You gotta have some engineered plan stuff on certain applications. That's non-refundable, can't be paid for with the grant, so that's basically your putting your dollars into the project, whether you get funded or not. So it was a good meeting, good way to make contact, and so as we process these and we can see which ones we really need to go after and which projects are, we think we can compete with in the funding, so. And I spoke with Kendrick, with Jones and DeMille. He was supposed to have me the scope of project and the contract so we can get going. He promised it to me on at least Monday. It'll include some fees, the scoping of the project, and he wants to set up a field trip with the pool committee and the water design person that they, is part of their, he had a name for him.
Tom Anderson?
Tom Anderson.
Yes, and he said he had 8 or 10 pools that they wanna go see. Maybe you've already gone to them, but he wants to go over so everybody's on the same page. I've met with the contractor, we've identified the, you okay over there, Hoss? We've identified the utilities in the area on the specific locations, both Lions Park and down around the Valentine's Peak. So they've identified all those in the area, and so they can make a recommendation on where they think the best location would be. So we dipped the manhole on Third East, I think it's 9 foot something, so there's plenty of fall at that particular one. So they've looked at those sites, they've compiled that data, and that's gonna be part of this scoping of the project that we wanna have back.
All right,
Okay.
cool.
Be ready to get a field trip.
A field
Okay.
trip, hopefully next week, maybe the end.
I don't know when the field trip, but I'll have the documents for review for the scoping of, and probably a proposal for a site that they
Okay,
propose.
okay,
And then we'll start with, I don't know when the planning is for the pool committee to go on the field trip, but we'll get that worked out as soon as I have the necessary paperwork from him. Okay, yeah, so, that's all I have.
Okay,
good.
all right, at this
Anybody-
time,
Callie, you don't have anything?
okay, at this
Dave?
time,
You got anything? I didn't get my coffee today, by the way. I know, just wanted to point that out. Chief, can you update us on your search for, officer, please?
Yeah, it's been fun. So we,
Is this the replacement for?
we've had 2 tests now. Well, we've had 2 application periods. So initially, we tried to hire a certified, right? Get our FTO program done, put them to work. We had 5 applicants, I think. 2 didn't pass the initial background. So I do an initial, not a criminal background, Thank you. Character background. That's the best dollars you guys spend right there. So we do a character background, right? Because they need to fit within the department, they gotta fit within our community. If you have a badge-heavy guy come into here, it's not gonna be good. If we have somebody come in here that watches Netflix all night, that's not gonna be good, right? So we need to be able to do that. So I did it, and I cut 2 before we even invited them to, interview. And then when we invited them to interview, 3 interviewed. One was coming from Cedar, one worked at Washington County but lived out in Burl. And she would have been a very good candidate, however, she had a conditional offer with Cedar, and in that mix that we were talking to her, Cedar sucked her in, because they're down 7. So our one doesn't seem so bad, but it's pretty bad. So then we reopened it as a new last on March 2022. So then it's 18 weeks, and then it's another, if it's a great candidate and a great officer that we can accelerate an FTO program, we're still 90 days. If it's got to go back and do remediation and things like that, 120 days. We're talking December of 2022 before we have that officer out on the streets. So we got 6 applicants on that. One we didn't invite. He actually applied the first time and got a letter of thanks, no thanks, and then reapplied. I don't get it, but he did, so we didn't invite him. And then the last time when we hired Devin back, all 10 of them that came and tested failed the PT, all 10 of them, right? So they're done. It's a pass or fail. If you can't pass that, you don't move on because you can't get into post. So this time they all passed with flying colors. It was great. We did the interviews. today we went through the check sheets, the interview sheets, the scoring process. So we had, Addison and Devin and Nicole do the initial interview with them, and it's just 15 questions. They all get asked the same 15 questions. They rank them, on how they answer them. I went over those today, and then we had one good candidate that's a certified officer, but he retired. He's got his 1 year by, and now he can go back to work. And so he's been working for, the BLM just for that 1 year. Like, that was his plan, to get out at 25, wait that 1 year that the Utah retirement system requires them to wait, and then get back in to law enforcement. He's a local guy, was a Cedar PD sergeant, so he's a good candidate. But now we just gotta start talking about it. We gotta see what's there, timelines. We did push for Dixie State's, they have a program through the college down there that's like a 4-month program, a couple of times a night. They pay a tuition, they get college credit for it, that kind of thing. And they come out certifiable, they're not certified. It's kind of different, and you probably have the same opinion I do about it, Mayor. It's kind of a boys club. I don't know, they don't come out cops like if you go to the academy and have to be away from your family for 18 weeks and go live the life of paramilitary.
The reality is they still have to go through post.
Yeah, no. So now, when they come out of that, they're certifiable, and as soon as we hire them and take them through EVO and a law block, a 10-hour law block, they're certified. Now, we did meet with Dixie State last week. All the Washington County and Iron County chiefs and sheriffs met with the Dixie State dean and the post commissioner, and asked them to host a full-time class at Dixie State starting in January. So it would be Monday through Friday. They would come home, they wouldn't stay there, but it would be just like post. It would be done by post. They would send instructors down. They would send 5 leads down, and then each agency that has somebody in that would help throughout that 18-week period. So we might be given, I don't know, dog calls, and we would go help instruct that part for that 4-hour block. So it's a good deal, it's cheaper. When you do the math on just travel, on meals and all that at the academy versus doing that, it's a little bit cheaper. It's not gonna be quite post, but it's post, and it's a good option for us because it's in January versus March, and it's still that accelerated 18 weeks. So that's kind of where we're at. We're still kind of looking through it. Tomorrow, or Monday, I'll sit down with Cleve and Judy and just see where we can go dollar-wise and, you know, where they fall based on experience, where they would fall in our pay structure, so.
Hey, Chief, do you feel like you got a good candidate out of your applicants that you have?
Yeah,
A good
I think we have a good certified and 2 good non-certified.
Oh, good.
So when I went over everything today, they all scored very well. The written test is kind of tough because they're not a cop yet. And we do ask some scenarios that are they're actually scenarios that have happened in Parowan over the years. And so we kind of ask them to just have an opinion about how they would handle that. And we're looking for keywords, right? Integrity, ethics, things like that, and they all did really well on that. They blew the runs and stuff. Like, they blew the PT away. There's no concerns there. It's good. Timeline.
Yeah.
The worst part. That's the hardest part. You know, because since July 1st, we've been down, you know, and our call volume's not going down. That's for darn sure.
Thanks, Chief.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Yep, thanks, Chief.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you.
Hey, tomorrow, our mental health, we start our mental health program. Some of you guys saw her up there. So she'll be here tomorrow, if you guys wanted to come sit in, at 1 o'clock in this conference room. And tomorrow she's doing tactical mental health? Something called tactical mental health. So it's basically to teach the officers to be able to put their feelings in their pocket, go deal with the problem, and then learn how to get their feelings back out so they don't suffer later on.
That was a good class, by the way. I thought it was pretty good. Other than you didn't get to speak, but.
I'm okay with that. You saw I was okay with that, right? But I did speak 2 days later at the Utah Chiefs. So part of my job with the VP of Utah Chiefs is developing a mental health plan to give to all 109 chiefs. It says, if you don't have a program, here's something to start one. If you have a program, here's something to better it. The hardest part I'm finding out being a young chief is you can't alienate those old guys or they don't like you. So,
should have thought about that before.
Listen, I have tried since 2016 we've tried that.
I know.
So, but it's cool because we still have some pretty old school chiefs out there, but they get it. They understand the need. There's just a need for it. When you see things, hear things, smell things, and do things, you have to know how to do it, and our younger generation doesn't know how to just keep shoving it down like some of us older guys. Like, she texted me today and said, am I gonna fight with you tomorrow in front of all your guys, or are you gonna accept what I say? And I said, I'll accept it while we're in the room. But there's very different generational cops right now, and that's all we're getting to apply is the young ones. And they don't care about the money, and they don't care about the retirement. They're here for the need and speed, and then they're moving on, and they don't care about that either. So it's interesting.
Thanks, Chief.
All right, thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
All right, move on to agenda item number 13.
I move that we, go into closed session to discuss the purchase, exchange, or lease of real property, including any form of a water right or water shares, the sale of real property, including any form of water rights or water shares.
I second it.
Okay. Dave?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Patty?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go into our closed session, so
Thanks to all of you for
thanks
coming.
everybody for coming
Appreciate
out.
your support.
You know what I'm saying, I mean, I don't wanna be a stickler, but if we've got some. I don't, I don't know. Not being a stickler, yeah, I'm right.
Just the dream. Am I frickin' loud?
So it's been nice and quiet this week?
Nice and quiet.
Oh, I thought maybe sure you'd be, woo-hoo, Stacy's gone. Go.
No, she is our excuse for eating out several times a week. She is the devil. She'll say, my horns are coming out, I'm like, okay. We just feel guilty eating out without her there, pouring it on.
That mental health program,
That's the one where they wanted to close.
yeah, but it was gonna cost us $30,000 a year, and we wanted to co-op
We wanted to go in with some other
five
city.
county or somebody, yeah.
Yeah, I went back and looked through it, I found it, but it's, we were waiting,
We can't afford $30,000. You have to hire,
extra employee and.
yeah. But if we can go in with Five County or Cedar City or Arlington,
That's what we, Beaver and stuff like that, we could do it.
I think that we basically,
Let the,
we asked the question, these things are being offered through the
We'll
county
make it
now.
behave.
Yeah. So it's kinda like, why do we wanna spend $30,000 and have another employee
and duplicate
and
something,
duplicate the same thing?
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That was,
yeah, that's way I
that's
understood
kinda
it
what
too.
I took it as too, so.
Yeah. So,
yeah, because the services are already available.
But we couldn't do a, extra employee, I mean, just for that, just.
Just for that.
If you guys wanna sit down this way, 'cause I'm gonna be doing a lot of pointing.